Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my show Rocket Monday. In today's episode we're gonna take a look at JAXA. So JAXA stands for Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency and it was created on 1 October 2003. Now to be fair, Japanese space industry is not that young. It was created by merger of 3 sub-companies and companies as in government organization, and they are listed here. NAL, ISAS, there were many companies, so they were combined to create a more streamlined and smooth production and management of the space assets. And you have to understand, Japanese company JAXA basically do not rely solely on their own resources. Many times they take help of private companies, and Mitsubishi heavy industry is a very key component to that. So their capabilities are very kind of limited because they have very small budget, $2 billion. It's more or less same as ISRO, and they have mid-size launch capabilities. So basically below Falcon 9, and they can send up to 16.5 tons and 16.5 ton to low Earth orbit and 8 ton to geostationary. As of now, their rockets are classified with H. They have H2, H2A, H2B. They are working on H3, which will increase their capacity. So the reason why Japanese agency has so much respect is because they are very good at astronomy program. Like as you can see, they already launched X-rays astronomy scanners, infrared scanners, solar observation. In this year itself, they're gonna launch a probe that is specifically targeted to observe CO2 emission and global warming effect. So suffice to say, they put a lot of emphasis on astronomy. It's just not satellites, communication and all that. So they do put a lot of emphasis on astronomy, which has to be commended. And they did a very big contribution to ISS, International Space Station. So Kibo, there is a module. ISS was built by attaching multiple modules in low Earth orbit, and Kibo is one of the largest module there is, which was built by Japan. And it wasn't launched by Japan. They sent it to NASA, and NASA sent it using their shuttle programs. And JAXA will contribute roughly $10 billion over the total ISS project. And not to mention, they also have a launch vehicle. This cannot return, so you can't pack people into it. So all it can do is go up and resupply ISS. So suffice to say, they have quite a successful contribution to ISS. And as a result of that, they have human space program. Now, while they do not have any launcher that can launch their own humans, but they do have astronaut. And the first astronaut, this guy, he was a journalist, and the milestone that was achieved using him is quite significant. And as you can see, this was the Mir space station, and he became the first privately funded individual to go on an international space station. That time calling it international is kind of mispronounced. That time only USA and Russia was going there. So it opened the door to commercialization. So, and Japan already has 10 astronauts. That's a very big deal. So they can send their astronaut using space shuttle. At the time space shuttle was active. Right now the Japanese astronaut go to ISS using Russian capsules. And the part you have to remember is that to see whether which country they are representing, see the badge here. So if somebody says India have astronauts, that's not true, simply because our astronauts don't go under ISRO, they go under NASA, and they do not represent India, they represent the country they went from. So generally USA, so you can pay attention to their flag. And sometimes you may find dual flag, and that would be in his flight suit. That is generally to represent which launch system they are using. So be mindful of this. And this is the reason why Japan is like slowly but surely progressing. So we have to keep an eye on them. So they might unveil a lot of surprises in upcoming years. So this was my presentation. I hope you guys liked it or learned from it. In that case, please like. If you didn't, dislike and leave a comment. Please subscribe. I make video every day. And as always, thanks for watching.